I had a gentleman get a hold of me about repair tools. You know, I got more repair tools than I ever use, just because I've just been kind of, well, I'll try this and try that, and end up not working, and end up having to fabricate something or something like that. But the main thing I use for like my Zema repairs is this little tool here. Now, if you could, I got this on eBay. If you could find this, get it. This is a little millimeter socket set. Okay, comes sizes 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and 6 millimeter. And here's a 3 millimeter, and this is what I use right here for taking the valves out of them Zema lighters. And it's a slim profile. It works great for that. You know, all you gotta do is just stick that in the end there and tighten that up. That's what I use. I always leave it like this, but for the sake of the video, I've hardly ever used these. But for the sake of video, I put that together. So it's industrial step up to innovation 8-piece interchangeable precision nut driver set, millimeter. All right. I don't know if that's a model number, but 00761 right there. Well, there's that. That's probably one of my most used tools. Well, that's my most used tool when I'm working on Zema. And, you know, I've got several of these. These are just kind of junk. And I got one of these real nice ones. It's from Demont, but, or Dixon, I guess this is Dixon. But I end up making it, kind of cutting it. I don't know, let me zoom in here. You can see I really put the burger that. This used to have real fine points. See how I ground the tip. The reason I did that is I had a filler valve leak in a thin quartz iron chrono lighter, and I had to get in there and take the filler valve out, and there wasn't any distance to do it or clearance, and I had to have something that was strong enough to get in there, and something that would work. And this worked. This is what I used for that. Another thing I'm going to recommend too, I've made tools out of brass. Okay. Now, before I go any further, let me get this. What did I do with that tool? Here it is. Now listen, you're going to have to spend some money and get you a good pair of these here. Alright. I think this is 5. I can't remember what the size it is. I think it's 5. But you got to have something that's got a real fine tip on it. Okay, because you're going to need it. And I'll tell you what too, like I said, I messed up the first pair I had there. This is one, it was a number 5. I can't remember what this one is, but, and make sure you get it comes in a cover. If not, I keep those covered up, people. These ain't, you know, even at the cheapest price you find these, I think I paid $25 for this. These can go up $50. Alright, so there ain't nothing cheap about a good quality tool. These here, you can see I've ground the point down. These used to be real thin points to them, but to get bent up, they twist and turn. They're just not, you know, they're titanium. The best, what I like about them is they're non-magnetic. This one here is magnetic, and this one here is magnetic. This is made out of stainless steel or something, but I still use them. But when I really need something, you know, to grab something small, like a small spring down hole or something like that, this is what I get out here. So make sure you have a good pair of those. Also recommend getting you a good set of these hole punches and metric sizes you can get on eBay. I think they come out of China, but they're usually about $10 for a set, you know, from, what is it, 1 millimeter on up to about 5 or 6. I hardly ever use the 5, but it does come in handy when you need it. You know, you gotta have files, small files. Get you some small files. I mean, all different shapes and sizes. Flats, rounds, curves, pointed. There's the one I use to file that little bitty groove in there. It's kind of like got a rough edge here, but it's thicker on top. You gotta have different types of files. Well, there ain't nothing cheap about them files either, just so you know. But I didn't have to buy them. My uncle had them. He passed away. He had some tools and stuff. So I helped myself to some of them. One of those in particular tools that he had that sit in my toolbox for years was this one right here. You guys seen me use this to put O-rings on. Pick an O-ring on, especially small ones, and spread it and get it over. This has been a good tool for that. Excellent tool. And you can see what that is. It's a removal tool. I don't know what it's for. I'm sure my uncle's alive, he'd know. Man worked in an aircraft manufacturing parts company out in California. Moved back here to Illinois when he retired, and he had a bunch of tools and stuff. And I don't know, I'll tell you what, this is probably one of the most useful tools I got out for doing O-rings. Now, unfortunately, I bent that up a little bit. It doesn't quite, you see how it doesn't quite fit right here. If you get one of these, don't do it. Just use it for spreading O-rings. Don't be abusing it like I did. I mean, it still works, but don't be abusing it like I did. I'll tell you what, as far as bleeders go, this is the best bleeder I've ever had. Okay, this is it. It's got a dual hole, one here and one here. And it's made out of brass. It's excellent. I started out with one of these. You've probably seen these on eBay, these Zycar ones. Oh boy. I'll be honest with you, the screwdriver's good. You know, pop it out, put a straight end in. The screwdriver, and I mostly use the Phillips. I don't think I ever used the straight. You know, these here, these bleeders, you know, they end up popping out. And I don't know. I mean, that's all you can. I mean, you're gonna spend $10 for this, right? Spend 15, 16 for this. This is a quality product. I wouldn't recommend anything else but this guy here. And not only that, you know, it's I like the way the butane. It's an indicator, like the two holes when the gas comes out on the side. You know it. You know it's full. You know, up here. Up on, with this here, this thing's got to spew up in here in this plastic, and you don't really know what's going on, you know, as far as being completely full of air or something. This in here is what you need. It gives you a better indication of the air in your tank and if you're full or not. So this is one of the things now, it just sits in the corner, you know. Never use it. Probably my most used screwdriver is this one here as far as Phillips goes. This is just a cheap PM tools, you know, in Taiwan, and you know, I use these for taking out those taking out those screws on the back of like lighters like this Calibri lighter. It just works perfect, and it's got a nice round grippy rubber texture to it. It's just great. I use that more than anything as far as Philip goes. Okay. And I got these little screwdrivers I bought. I think I bought these at Harbor Freight or something. You know, they're hard plastic, but they got little nubs here in the end. But when it comes to straights, I probably use these more than anything. Taiwan made, you know, Pittsburgh size. You know, you can get them in Phillips, and you can, or Star, you know, screwdrivers or flathead straight. That's what I mostly use. But then again, you know, you can get these too. All right, these will work. I just got more screwdrivers than I need. Okay, so anyway, and let's see. I think I got these up at Harbor Freight as well. You know, these little picks you can buy. You know, don't get it. You know, if you can find some good quality ones, you know, you need something that's really sturdy, like when you're digging underneath something. You know, we don't want anything made out of a cheap aluminum. I think these got like steel ends on them, so these are cheap. I think I got these Harbor Freight, so. I tell you what I've been doing, you know, I tried, let's see if I can find that. You know, you got to take out valves and stuff. I found these now. I still do use this. This here, you can get these off of eBay. Alright, but I have broken some of them. The reason I did is because I had to file them down to get them to work on what I needed them for. But I still use, I haven't broken any of the bigger ones. Okay, it's only the one on the small, and I broke, let's see, 1, 2, and the real small one. We should go over this here. This one's still good. You can see that one's broken off on that. You know, this is a good tool, don't get me wrong. But the problem is they're not very deep. Sometimes you're going over a valve. You know, say this is a valve and you need to go over quite a bit. Well, say they're not very deep. So it caused me troubles. So what I started doing is, you know, started kind of like just build my own. This is out of stainless steel tube. Now I am going to put some handles on this or some texture grippy stuff later on. But I built this for a Japanese Tanita lighter I sold on eBay. It had an oval cap because I had to put it down inside, and I had to come over and pop the valve. The valve had a little screw down in, and I couldn't, for the life of me, I didn't have anything to do it. And another thing is too, I've also have brass tube here. But see what happens to your brass tube here? That's why every time you see these tools, now it'll work okay if you need something like this. Okay? If you need to make a tool like that, it'll work fine, your brass will. But most generally, when you see tools made, they're made out of stainless steel, and there's a reason for that, because brass doesn't hold up like the stainless steel does, which is what this is. Just look stainless steel tube or brass tube on eBay, and you can find that. This here is just out of a little broken off screwdriver. I made this tool here. This tool here actually works great for taking the internal or the valve out of a Calibri dual flame lighter for taking the valve out. Once you unscrew the screw at the bottom, you take it out, there's a little slotted head in there. This is what you need to take it out. Okay, you might be able to get you a screwdriver and kind of maybe something like, maybe something like this. Okay, and maybe just grind this down until it's thick enough to do the job, but you just have to think about it. That's probably one of my most used straight screwdrivers right there. There's that. Now here's this tube that I bought off of eBay. This is how it comes, you know, big long tube. You know, I can't remember what this is, 4mm by maybe 1.5mm or something like that. Also got some other, this is brass tube I bought. This come out of the UK. This is like 1.2mm OD by 1mm ID. And I bought this one, then it wasn't what I needed, so I ended up buying this one. And what I used these for was, let me show you if I got it. On a Flaminaire F12 pipe, you know, right here. Okay, well, there's a little brass tube that kind of comes out of this and up. Well, sometimes they might get bent or broke, and I found out that this, I had to repair a lighter like this for a guy, and I used a 1.2 by 1.0 ID, 1.2 OD. Cut it down and bent it and put it in here and soldered it, and it worked perfectly. Okay. It wasn't as thick as the original one, but you know, I had to find something. There wasn't nothing cheap about these either. I think they might have been, I don't know, $10 or $12 each or something. But you know, I've had a lot of good products come out of the UK. Just keep that in mind. And I'll tell you what, the shipping on that stuff is quick, especially out of the UK. Okay, now this, going back to this here, what I used this basically for was I built this originally for working on my Savinelli I Am Corona pipe lighters, or lighters in general, actually lighters in general. This is a tank off of a Savinelli pipe lighter. There's a flame adjustment screw, but when you take that out, I think you could see. Let me get a flashlight in here. You can see the little, see how it is in there? See the little brass in rod in the middle with a little, you know, little slots on the outside. Well, that's what I made this for right here, because what this does, it gets down in there and it turns that slot, turns that. And what that does is, on this here particular thing, what it does is it adjusts the height. This is like a maximum flame adjustment. What you'll do is when you adjust this to the maximum flame height that you want on your lighter, then that's what it will be when this screw here is all the way out. But this here little screw pushes down on that little rod in the middle, which compresses the sponge, and which makes from your maximum flame setting down, when you turn it, shutting it off down to the smaller flame setting. That's what I use that for. Just make that out of an old screwdriver, a piece of steel, whatever you want. That's probably, when it comes to working on these type of lighters, that's a tool you gotta have for that particular model. Let's see. Now I did have some old Ronsons, you know, when I had a Dunhill. I had to roll of gases I worked on, and this is, I haven't used this, but this does work on Ronson lighters like Veriflames. This is what you need to take the filler valves out. I mean, this is what you need if you don't want to booger up your filler valves. Okay. And the Ronson filler valves, guys, and the Dunhill filler valves are the same size. Okay, just so you'll know. This came out of Ronson. But if you had to, say this filler valve was good, you can use it in a Dunhill lighter as well. Alright. See how sometimes, you know, these don't just come out easy all the time, guys. Keep that in mind. I've had to put a pair of pliers on this and hold that lighter stiff. But what makes a difference on this is, see, it's got that pin in there. It actually holds it so you're not kind of going like this and stripping out that valve. Now, this is an expensive tool. I think it's probably 20 bucks or something like that. But when you're working on filler valves, you don't want to strip them filler valves out. I stripped out one, and it was in a Calibri lighter, you know, and it was in like an aluminum alloy or something, and I couldn't get the valve out. The valve was frozen. I boogered up all the ends. I eventually had to put a easy out inside there, kind of hammer it down, screwdriver, and pull it out, ruined the valve, but I did get it out. Now there's a guy over that sells them little, you can get this, these come from the UK, okay? These are for the here's what a Dunhill filler valve looks like. This isn't a Dunhill, but that's what a Dunhill filler valve looks like. Somewhat similar, maybe a little bit thinner up here on top. This is a Ronson too. But you know, I used to have another valve in here. Matter of fact, I think I got that valve in here that I had to. No, that's when I worked it up. But anyway, don't hurt to have them. And you can have one of them if you're working on Dunhills or Ronsons. You know, Veriflames and stuff like that. Got that type of filler valve. This is what you want. Get this. I highly recommend it. Now, they also, guy that sells this, they make those little replacement valves, you know, you can put a new type, I think B or is it A, one of the two in there. There's like it's a rebuildable valve, because this valve here, the other one I showed you, isn't rebuildable. So they sell the outside, they sell a little internal filler valve, internal mechanism that you can replace. This is the tool for that. You can get that off of eBay. Just look Ronson filler valve tool. It should come up. Right here, I just got a little brass rod with a little rubber piece on the end of it. I got a kind of a concave little hole drilled into it, you know, for pushing down on, like I use this here, to push down on valves, like when I want to test a seal. Like, say, for instance, when I got a, like this here Zama. Say, like, I'll get it to this point here, and I'll light it, and it lights, and I'll want to push down on it here with this, keep my hands away from the flame, and make sure that stopper's working before I assemble it any further. The little concave just helps me keep a pin on there, you know. Also might use it to possibly bleed other tools, you know, like pushing down on a filler valve just to get the butane out of it, but I don't really do that since I got this right here. Alright, now let's see here. I've got different types of screwdrivers and stuff I've messed with over time. This is for, you know, just get you a Dremel tool, and like this is like take filler valves out, but I don't use this anymore. This here is a specially made tool for working on IM Corona. I really don't use these anymore, guys. But this is here, this is a tool I made out of a nut driver. I tell you what, if you're gonna make like removing valves or anything like internal lighters, use these nut drivers because they got a deep well in them, okay? And if you're taking out a valve and you got a type of a nut on a base, you're gonna need some space down in here. That's why I told you about these here not being good for some things, because they're not deep. But I use that. And I do got this little right here. See what I got here? Now, I've hand grind at it. It didn't do a very good job. You see it's not flat? What I use these for is just get you a socket. It'll fit in the diameter of your filler valve, and you're better off you got a guy on a lathe, you know, that he could cut these, you know, or a milling machine or something, and just cut them and get them perfect, because I'm doing this by eye and it's not working out good. I think I'm gonna thought about investing in a little mini lathe, but to, you know, make up some good tools, but it's like I don't have enough to do as it is. So alright, you know, just lead down another rabbit hole there. Let me see here. You know, I usually, you know, I grab this at like truck stops, just a little, you know, guys want to fill up their butane lighters. And I drilled that out and put a good hard rubber seal on it. I just kind of use that, you know, while I'm up here, because otherwise I got this great big freaking can of butane here. Alright. I'll keep this on my desk doing it. Matter of fact, I'll just fill this up while I'm at it, because I used it here just a little bit ago to fill up that G11 lighter. I don't know if you know, it's just dribbling in. It's just dribbling in, and that's all the further I can get it filled up. That's a good example. If you get one of these, why you need to know you need to bleed. Except I don't like this one here. I got it because it's built like a lighter. It's got a little divider in it. So I like the ones that's a single round tube. It helps to bleed it anyway. I get these valves off the internet for this. There's the valves right here. This is what I use. They're called, oh, good Lord, I can't remember what they're called, but I got a sticker here. They always sent KVA or something. Yeah, KWA. They're airsoft valves, what they are. But I like them for using my lighters because they got a little rubber washer down in there, so when you put the metal end of this on it, it actually seals really well. So they're KWA. Just look it up, airsoft valves. And what I use, like sometimes I got some of them. There's what it looks like. These are actually parts in here for my Zama lighters. Okay. And also have some pipe valves for Zamas too. You need a pipe valve for your Zama, folks. I got it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what I use, I use these because they're rebuildable. The ones you see, I don't know, I think I used it. I used it the last one I had. The one I said you can get these, the Fur Ronson repair, you get this little tool with them. Well, they're not rebuildable. These are rebuildable. Okay, you just unscrew the brass part on the end and you can get in there if you ever need to and replace that rubber washer down inside there. But what I use on them is to drill out them holes for this. I use this here, a 4.2 millimeter drill bit, and I use this here tap you can get. This is like a 4.5 by 0.5 thread pitch, half a pitch tap. And when you're doing that plastic, folks, you really got to make sure you're going straight in there. This valve wants to turn on you when you're screwing it in, and it fits tight. Put a little bit of grease around those, silicone grease around those threads. You're tightening it down in. Especially going into plastic, it don't go that easy. These here is probably a very good. Get you some of these. Okay, these particular ones, they have inch. Okay, then you have fractions, and they have millimeter. All right, just run off a battery that you can replace right here. Come in a little box. I think I paid around 20 bucks for those. One of the handiest. You got to have this, folks. You got to have this for measuring O-ring size, and trying to get as close as you can to what you need. Like I said, screwdrivers. You never have enough screwdrivers. There's just some of them. I did buy this thing here. I bought this at like O'Reilly's or something like that. It's actually for taking out tire stems, out of tire valves and stuff like that. Well, I bought this, thought maybe it'd come in handy. Well, I haven't used it yet, I don't believe. I got a little tool here. I'll use this once in a while. Just make all it, I recommend getting some of the stainless steel tube to make these, folks. Okay, because these here, they get kind of pointy. It's not a, I just use a file and a Dremel, and it got me by, don't get me wrong, but you stand a better chance of burning up your brass valves, and probably a brass valve that you can't replace. Okay. O-rings. There's different sizes of O-rings. These here, ones I got like right here, And some here, I used to, when I first started out, I got these off of eBay, but you know, they're not what you call a good rubber. Okay, you want a Buna grade rubber. Okay, nitrile rubber. Buna nitrile rubber is what you want. Alright, this here particular one, O-rings and more, 7 by 1 millimeter. Works on a Zama filler valve, a 10 millimeter filler valve for another seal. Here's some more of them O-rings that I bought, you know, that aren't exactly, I don't ever use these. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you can use them, you just might have to, I don't know, you might have to, I wouldn't use, you can use these rubber O-rings possibly on like a filler valve, but I wouldn't use them on anything that's got a seal, like a gas valve, internal gas valve or anything, because it's going to be a lot of, you know, different temperatures and stuff, and they're, you know, they're not as hard. Basically about, you can get the Duro, when it says like, on this particular one, it says Duro 90, these are hard. They don't stretch much, but they're good on filler valves because you can crank them down a little bit and you don't have to worry about really deforming them like you would a soft piece of rubber, which I don't know, like these. These here, I just bought these. These are FKM O-rings. I've been using these now for certain things, especially if you got to apply some pressure on a valve and tighten it down and have a good O-ring so you want it to seal. I've got these from O-rings and more. Here's all I got right here. Here's the first ones I got. Alright. You can see the prices of them. Like 8 cents each. And what I paid for them. O-rings and more. Here's another batch I got as well. Alright. Now, the FKM doesn't have, these are all like, basically have 1 millimeter thickness or 1.5 millimeter thickness cord. But you go into their same place and you can go to regular Buna grade and get the 70 or 90 Duro, and there's, I can't remember which one is the 70 Duro. They got some, it's a little bit, it's got a cord a little bit less thick, like a well, I got them right here. You can go in and get these too. These come in handy. 2.5 by 6.6 or 3 millimeter by 0.68. The 0.68 and the 0.66 is the diameter of the cord. Hard, most of it standard is, most of the ones I use are 1 millimeter. I will use maybe a 1.5 or something like that, all depending what I need it for. Okay. These are 70 Duro here and 90 here. These are the numbers I put on, like this is the size 0005 70 Duro, just so you'll know. That'll be the number of, you know, rings and more for what you need for that. And also too, if you want to get a stopper, you know, like you got a stopper, you know, it goes inside a little valve, goes down, needs a round stopper in there. You can probably get on there and get the right size cord you need in a Buna grade 2, and just take a razor blade and cut it off. You're just going to have to measure the diameters you need and cut it accordingly. But that's the easiest way to do that. You're definitely going to have to get online, and I think eBay is where I got these. Alright. Now these aren't a hard rubber. These are watch O-rings, but I'll tell you what, when you can't find anything small and you need something small, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, it might not be the quality as the other ones you put in there, but like I said, you gotta do what you gotta do, and And it might work, it might last longer than you think. I just don't have a lot of time on it to know how long they last, okay? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to be a softer O-ring. So obviously, you know, things are going to vary as far as longevity and durability, and comes those type of things there. I got a tool rack. You can get these here, these cutters. I'm always running these cutters, cutting things. You know, you can see the jaws on this. I'm always running them. You know, I'll cut something real heavy, then the jaws will get off whack, you know, and, you know, save a pair for cutting something, and, you know, like brass. I don't know, I just run them, but they're like $5-6. I ordered them offline, but then I've seen them at I think at an AutoZone store. You can buy them. I recommend getting some of these flat jaw pliers too. You know, they got little bitty grooves in them. And there's a channel in this one. They're flat jaw pliers, okay? These actually come in pretty handy, really handy. Better than a regular pair of pliers, because the jaws, they still have some, you know, grit to them, but it's not real coarse like your regular pair of pliers. You know, I have come across once in a while something like this will come in handy for holding something, you know, but not very often. Now, I did have these on eBay. These are what you call flat jaw pliers, but they had little plastic inserts in them, and I boogered them up, ruined them, grabbed stuff too hot, whatnot. But you can get that. Get you some of them hemostats too, different sizes, folks. And I recommend getting something about this size and get something smaller, and I don't recommend buying this stuff at Harbor Freight. These are the ones that got Harbor Freight. They're garbage, okay? You want to get a good hemostat, like something that's made for like a hospital. Get on eBay and look for that. Just get you a good, you know, look up what's a good brand and try to get it. Yeah, you're going to pay a price, but you know, the jaws on these things. See, I got these bent up. Yeah, I got them bent up. I don't know if these are good quality or not, to be honest with you, but I definitely got them burkered up. I tell you what I use them on. I had a F12 pipe lighter. You know how I told you it's kind of had to get the cases apart? Well, I don't know if I got a... You know, I got my F12 put up, but where the flame comes out, I stick this in the end of it where the flame comes out on the F12, and I'll just open it up, and the cases will pop right apart. And it saves you a lot of work, and you don't have to worry about scratching the outside and finish of it. Stick it in there and pop it off. It comes in handy for that too. Now I did have trouble on my F12 pipe lighters. Anyway, if you're taking apart an F12, you're working on one, you know that there's an, let me zoom in here. You see this here? Well, there's a stopper down inside this, but you got to pull this out, and that's compressed in there flat. And I couldn't get some of them out. Some of them I was able to pull out, right? But some of them I couldn't get out, and I think this is probably one of them. This is old parts lighter here. But what I was going to do is I bought this new tool, and you know, like this on eBay, actually made for cast removal. Removing the cast on your arm, you know, spread it apart. But what I was going to do is I was just going to groove a channel in there on the bottom for maybe right here for the tank, then a smaller channel on the top one, so I can get in there. Like, say there's a channel in here, I think you guys understand, and get in there and I can just pop that up, see, and pop it out. So that's why I got these. I think, I don't know what I paid for these. 17, 18, 20 bucks, somewhere around there. Not terribly expensive. They are heavy duty. Anyway, earlier I told you about, I used to trying to get filler valves out, and I made this here brass rod, I ground it down, and trying to get out, I think, an old Zama filler valve, and I'll be honest with you, it was a waste of time. What happens to these things, they just get chipped. They chip. It doesn't last, doesn't work. So, you got to use stainless steel. Alright. I get these lighters. I get these here. I got at the Dollar Tree. And I did at Walgreens pick up this here pack of lighters at Walgreens, which actually it was 8 lighters for, I think it was $2 or $3, something like that. So that was a good price. I always buy these disposable lighters to get them sponges out of them. It's the only place I can find a sponge. And you need to replace some, like hose, you need to get some of this off of eBay. This is like vinyl food grade rubber hose. Use them for any lighter that's, got a rubber hose going like this one does right here. I think you can get on eBay and find the colored hoses and stuff, but once in a while, you need to replace a hose. These will work. You got different internal diameters and different thicknesses in walls, so you gotta maybe get a little variety pack of them. And of course, I got Soldering Station, and you gotta have a good scale. This has been a real good scale for me. Picked this up on eBay for, I think it was like $6, $7. Been a very, very good little scale. This is what I use when I'm fixing lighters. I fill them up and I weigh them. I let them set and weigh them up 2 or 3 days later. It's, I also use get you a little black container. I got this. My friend of mine, he chews tobacco, and he'll save these containers for me. And you'll get them, put alcohol in. Of course, this is kind of a cleaning one here. There's little brass pieces at the bottom, but the reason is if you can get whatever you're checking in there, the black background will help you see the bubbles. Don't get it clear or white. You won't see them real small micro bubbles. Okay. And I use a 91% rubbing alcohol for cleaning my parts. As far as Flint goes, you can buy them Chinese Flints, but they're hard. And I try to buy those ones out of Austria, but you can't find them anymore. They're softer Flint. They're not as hard on your wheel. Okay. Another thing too is if you've got like a Zippo lighter and it's throwing out sparks and it's full of fluid, but it's not igniting, well, you've got a problem with your wheel. Your Flint wheel has gotten hot. Alright, and what happened is it's taking the temper out of that wheel, and you don't have sparks anymore. And get you one of these off of eBay. Lighter repair parts. Alright, this here will punch out where you can punch the wheel out. You can get the wheel. What you'll do is you'll set the wheel on a piece of steel somewhere, put a torch to it to where it glows orange hot, flip it inside of cold water, and it'll be tempered again. Stick it back in there and she'll light like it should. Okay. Alright, there's that. This here is a watch band for taking out the pins of your watch band, but I use these for taking them pins out some of them lighter caps, you know, and it does work. I've used it several times for that. You know, you got to take a cap off, like certain lighters you work on. Some, I can't remember what it is. It's the I worked on a Savinelli Flint 45, which is Savinelli pipe lighter. I think they got one on eBay right now. And you got to take the cap off. You got to take the cap off to get to that valve down in there. At least I did, because I didn't have the proper tool. That's what I use for that. Also, too, you can get some of these repair tools here if you need to make a screw, or say you got a screw that isn't really tapped right. Get one of these. Alright, these are in the watch repair items. These here is little taps right here, and these here is a little thread gauge here. I can't remember what they call this tool, but you can take wire or whatever and you can tap it, because there's these are like a tapping tool right here. Alright, I've had to use these because I had to broke off a screw and had to maybe drill something out and put a bigger size in it. You know, so I've used these here to tap out the whole size, and I used this here to find the screw that I figured would work, to find out the size of it and know what to tap it off with. Alright. I tell you what. Little bitty drill bits in here, talking about 1/2 millimeter on up to 1.2 millimeter. Get you some of them. And I got a bunch of stuff too. This here come from my uncle's place. These are drill bits, cutting tools, small drill bits in here. And when you really need to make a precision hole for making sure you're center, get you a little, make sure you get you some of them center drill bits, alright? You know what I'm talking about. Ones people use to, you know, drill a kind of center bit, make sure it doesn't wander off, so you get your hole in the right place. You gotta have bits. You gotta have drill bits. And I use a Milwaukee M18, and I don't have a drill press, but usually the only time I'm drilling something out, let's see, is on a small valve. I had to fix some lighters, you know, and I get these, I got these, these stoppers. You know, I get them, I showed you before, but I get them little stoppers like this. Well, I get them stoppers out of, you know, let me grab just a second here to show you. This comes out of a disposable lighter right here. Alright. And I always save these O-rings off here. Matter of fact, that might be the O-ring that I used. I use quite a bit of them. That might work. That, to be honest with you, I use them in my Savinelli lighter repairs. But alright. I throw these away. See right here, I throw these away. See here? Get a little stopper. Pulls right out of there. I save all them stoppers. There's a little bitty O-ring there in a spring. I'll save that. I don't save these, it's got a slot in it. I don't save these, got a slot now. They got a hole in it, one side or two side, and they're made out of brass. I'll save them. I did a little modification, making a pipe valve on a GL62 or something, regular lighter, and I used one of these. It was for making a pipe valve for it. You can see that on the video. It's Marumim GL60, I don't know, 65, 6, something like that. It's the only one I ever worked on. But okay, so here's the deal though. Sometimes, you know, you need a stopper like this, right? But your hole that you're putting it into, like your valve, say for instance, got a smaller hole. So I've taken them little bitty drill bits, and I'll tell you what I'll do here too. When you got a small valve, folks, when you got I got these little adapters like off of eBay out of China. I had to drill a valve out. See that there? And put one of them stoppers to get one of them stoppers to work, because I couldn't find the stem. The stem wasn't the right size, so I just used one of these and drilled out the valve that I needed the stopper for. And I only used it like this too to drill it out, because you're drilling into brass. Stick it in there and work it like that, and you can use this. You say, well, because you can't find replacement stoppers, folks, in the size you need. This is the only place I've known to get these stoppers out of these disposable lighters. And that way too, if like you're repairing your own lighter, or if you got to work on it again, or whatever down the road, you know where you got a part now that'll work. You don't have to fiddle around looking around for something you're not going to find. That's what I used to, you know, bore out a little brass valve. Let me say, for instance, what have I got here? Now, anybody knows anything about this knows that this is an old boy, or parts to an old boy. Alright, this is a valve to an old boy lighter. Alright, now what I'm talking about is replacing this here. Sometimes you take these out, and the hole there isn't big enough for the stopper that you got out of the disposable lighter. So I'll put that back in there so I don't lose it. So I'll just get one of these with the drill bit, and I'll just work with my hands and drill it out to the size, and use that. Alright, if that gives you an idea. Anyway, yeah, this is an old boy lighter I destroyed here. Got parts and stuff, but anyway, gives you an idea there. That's what I use that for. So small drill bits are a must, especially if you're you know, you don't need all this stuff. You're just repairing Flint fired lighters. You don't need all that stuff. But if you're doing butane, you have to have a variety. I'm trying to think if there's any more. Of course, you can have one of these around, clean your files with, and your Flint wheels on your you know, your Flint lighters, your Flint fired butane lighters. Get you a little brush and stuff like that, and get you some markers, and you know, get you a good cutter. You know, you're gonna need that. You can even get the smaller cutters too, you know, like that. I'm trying to think of, I've had to manufacture this here I had to get in a certain place, and and I needed a width adjustment, and I kind of ground these down right here to the size I needed to take out the filler valve or whatever it was I was removing. You just got to kind of go to the store, your store where you get stuff like this, like tools and stuff, and walk around the aisles and look at the tools, say, hey, that might work. I might be able to get that to work, you know, with a little bit of, you know, drilling on it. You can get these too. I took the little jaws out these had, but these, I was going to put something in here. I was actually going to use this for my taking the valve apart on that F12, but you know, it kind of comes at an angle, too much of an angle, and I didn't want to take a chance and bend some, but this will come in handy for something. We got that at a yard sale. You know, get you, if you're working on any kind of electric lighter, like a Cleaver 2002, get you an ohm meter so you can check out the batteries, your 12-volt batteries that go in them. Let's see. Yeah, so you can check them out. This here's a little bottle of MEK. You guys got a part or you got something you want to really clean up, this MEK will clean it up. Like if you got a lot of soot on a valve, stick it in here, let it set for a day. Then get you some air, blow the valve out, can of compressed air. Don't put anything plastic in this MEK, it'll dissolve it. Okay, it'll just make it, you know, mush. Okay. You can get these little things here on eBay too. These are like repairing your lighter inside your Flint wheel. Okay, these are the little ones you stick in there, and you can put a clamp on it so you can take it back out and take your Flint wheel out of your Zippo or your other Flint fire lighter. You know, I'm talking about a lighter. It's like this here. Okay, taking the wheel out of these. See how I got one in here? Sometimes these okay, this is a brass manufactured lighter. I'm going to tell you what, this is the best there is, in my opinion. Forget your Zippos. If you guys like Zippos, I mean, that's fine if you're collecting them, but if you want something you can use like this, it's a petrol lighter, I recommend this. See how fine that is? You can't even hardly see the lines. Especially when you get this, you can't even hardly see the lines. And not only that, this thing has no ring around it, right? Okay, I filled this up, and I've set it on my desk. I picked it up 3 or 4 months later, and bam, it lights up. Now it might be getting toward the end but it lights up. And not only that, I stuck a thick wick in here. Okay, that's an excellent lighter there. It's heavy too. It's heavy enough if you threw it at somebody, hit them in the head, they might not get back up. Now, I've always got these wicks, okay. This is a wick I use for petrol lighter wick. And I always use this woven type here. I want you to look at this. See how this is? Woven. And I always had to get this out of the UK. I got it thick diameter, 3mm. Okay, I got it in. But anyway, this is the wick you want to use if you want a new wick for your lighter. You know, I've actually put double strands of this in a Zippo, and I've got this in here, which I put in that Zorro lighter. I just showed you this one here. I had to kind of holler out the brass rivet inside there, but this is a real heavy duty wick. Won't burn down as quick. Plus I put about 8 inches of wick in the bottom of it too. Alright, get that out of the UK. Look on cotton, 100% cotton cord, you know, and make sure you get the ones that's kind of braided, because that it lasts longer. It's a little rigid, more rigid. Let's see. get some pipe cleaners, you know, get you some toothpicks. Sometimes I'll use these when I need to pack down a pressure valve or a pressure filter inside a valve. And these here, all these are here is those little shish kebab sticks, you know, got a point on it. That's all they are. And you can get some of these, you can get some, once in a while, you can get some of these wooden dowels like at a craft store, you know. I use these, might have to get down the side like my tall Zamas, help push out part, you know, or whatever you need it for. You know, cotton swabs. I probably use cotton swabs, you know, and I use the Q-tip brand. They're better quality. I'll use that more than anything. Get you guys seen me use these before. I like these. These come in handy at certain times. But boy, they're expensive. Like about $8, $8 or $10, whatever. Get you some of these they'll come in handy. Get you some of these little brushes. You might have to get down inside the chamber, a real small chamber, and put some alcohol on there and, you know, get the gunk out of it. You get them at, I think I got that little wire, different size little wire brushes at a Harbor Freight store. So you'll know. I'm sure there's something I'm missing. Yeah, you gotta have razor blades. You're gonna need razor blades. Sometimes you can, I found these little tools like this, yard sale, come in handy once in a while. Let's see. Trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, polishing cloths, you know. See these polishing cloths I had? I got these at the Dollar Tree. I mean, it's like a foot by 2 foot polishing cloth. These are real soft. This is what you need. These are real soft. Got it in the Dollar Tree, and it was $1 each. Okay, and you can wash these up in some bleach water, and they'll come completely clean. All right. So polishing cloth. Get you some Goo Gone if you know, you might need it. You know, you get a sticker on your lighter you want to get off. Get you some 3M adhesive spray. Like, you know how I might have to get in there and I might have to take a decal off of a lighter, especially like an I Am Corona lighter. They got decals. One of those decals is little screws. So, you know, get you a little blow dryer and heat that decal up and get you one of these picks and just kind of get underneath there and pick it off. The idea is make the lighter where it looks like, you know, it still looks like it's been fixed by somebody, you know, that cared about the appearance, because you want the original sticker, especially on these high dollar lighters like I Am Corona or something like that. You know, you want them to you know, put them back so it looks nice, like your Pipe Masters, stuff like that. They got the little, you know, pipe plate on the bottom, but the screw you need to take that bottom plate underneath that sticker. So get a blow dryer, you know, heat the sticker up pretty good. Then get you a little, you might have to get a razor blade, a real small razor blade to get underneath, like when I get underneath like Pipe Master or something, I use these little X-Acto blades because they've got a real fine point, and heat them stickers up real good and kind of go down the edge until you find the place that you can get underneath of and take it off. You might do a little damage to it, but not enough to where somebody's going to have a magnifier to see it. Wow, I don't know what else to show you here. Flints, gotta have plenty of flints. Lighters, you know, give me a little eyedropper bottle here for my alcohol, and I just need a drop or two, you know. I found these at a yard sale. I mean, you don't hardly find glass bottles anymore. Maybe get you a magnet or something so you can you know, drop your parts on it or something like that. I don't know if that's magnetic. No, it's not magnetic. You know, so especially, you know, what these are handy for is like, you know, things like that, like springs. Get you a magnetic tray. Comes in handy. That way, because I'll tell you what, folks, you don't want to lose freaking springs. Some of them springs are just, they're wound the correct diameter, and the correct coils, and for a certain spring pressure. Don't be losing those springs, especially like out of your Dunhills or out of these little stopper valves that I show you. They got little springs on the inside of them. You don't want to lose the springs, folks. I'll guarantee you don't, because you can just ruin a whole lighter by losing one little spring. And all you got is a parts lighter. Alright, let's see. Good flashlight. You can look down in some magnifying glass. Oh yeah, I got these on top of my head. I use these. Alright, but I'll be honest with you, they get kind of cumbersome. I'm going to get me a big magnifying glass and put up in here, and it's going to be, and that way I can bring it up and I don't have to, because sometimes I can bring it up closer. These here are just kind of, I don't know. I bought a pair at a yard sale. I got kind of like almost for nothing in a box of stuff, you know, buy a whole box, $15, so whatever fits in the box. And I got an extra pair of these, stuff like that. Anyway, I got a whole crap load of soldering stuff over here. You want a good Dremel. When I'm drilling out those, you know, the old M18 comes in handy. I bought that at a guy. I bought my, this is an M18 hammer drill. I bought that, I went up there and I bought a M18 impact, a 1/2-inch impact. Oh boy, I said, I was wanting one of these drills. So I said, how much is one? He said, well, they're like 100, what was it, 140 new. His son came out there, hold on. He came out there and he brought this over and he fixed it for a guy. Guy never picked it up. He repaired it. I said, how much you want for it? He says, $40. I said, sold. Or your $50, one of the two. Get you some plastic cases to put things in. You know, some trays. There's probably some things I'm missing down here, guys, but let me go through my drawers. Oh yeah, you might want to get some Boone grade rubber sheet so you can, you know, you can get it. I think you might be able to get it on O-rings and more. Get you a Boone. If you need any flat rubber sheets a certain thickness for any project, make sure it's Boone grade, okay? Because that's a quality rubber. Alright. Let's see. If you guys are out there and you're and you work on Savinelli lighters, you know, like the tall pipe lighters or even the short ones. Say for instance, let me get this now. This is probably my, is this the one? Oh, yeah, this is my favorite. This is my first tall Savinelli and my favorite. This is silver plated. That's a beautiful lighter. But if you guys work on these lighters, you know, they got this trim ring around here. Alright, now you can't get that out. Well, I took one out with another lighter, but you got to be careful with it. They're very fragile. I recommend prying them loose from the top here. But I think they put a, I got a real hot blow dryer and I put it on here, and I think these are put on, and when I took it out, I got it loose, and when I took it out, I put the blow dryer on top because there's some glue on there and it melted and got soft, so I think they put that on there with like a hot glue in here, okay? Of course, the lighter's not going to get hot enough just like that. But so if you want to get one of these out for some reason, work on it, whatever, try to make a new one, these insulators inside this pipe lighter, you can get your real hot blow dryer on here and get it real hot. You know, you're going to have a glove to hold this with, because you're not going to be able to hold on to it, just so you'll melt that hot glue, and get under the screwdriver and just kind of pry that out gently. Be careful. Alright. If I ever get to the point where I got one butane lighter, folks, like, keep one, this is going to be it here. This freaking thing's just freaking gorgeous. You know, they don't make these no more, guys. They don't make these things no more at all. These things are like hen's teeth. You just don't find them. You know, you can, but you don't find them very often. I tell you, I spent hours on, internet, trying to track it. I don't smoke, but you know what? I collect a few of these tall Savinelli pipe lighters. And look at this one. Check that out. I found that on a website. I don't know, it took me hours to probably find it, but that's in black and gold, Oh yeah, I got gas in it. But anyway, that lighter there was put up. I just bought that this year. It's been on for sale since 2018. But a very old man lives in Caveria Compromesso, I believe, near the city of Gallarate in Italy. Had that lighter. His wife gave it to him. I think it's back probably not 1985 or so, and I don't think he smokes or anything, but the old boy never sold it because he couldn't ship, And a friend of mine took a train there, and he said it wasn't too far. Paid for his train ticket, and paid for his time, and went there and picked it up for me. Beautiful example of a Savinelli tall pipe lighter. They don't make, don't get me wrong, I.M. Cronin makes quality lighters, but even their pipe masters aren't the quality of these lighters. That's what these lighters got, except the tank on this one's real long, You see what I'm saying? Everything's just metal up here. The piezo, the only thing that ain't metal is the seals, the hose, the piezo. Everything's metal, I worked on a pipe master before and had the internals out, and I was kind of checking out the flame action on it. Actually melted the top of the plastic on it. These here, I need to work on this layer a little bit, fine tune it a little bit. That's where the gas comes on, about right there. What I found on these, after you get everything cleaned, you just want to just kind of kick down on that a little bit, and you want that gas on. Keep in mind, if you got one of these piezo lighters, guys, okay, and you're clicking on it real fast and it isn't lighting, like it should, it's probably, the gas isn't probably coming on soon enough before that spark hits it. So just keep in mind, you want that gas to come on as soon as possible before that piezo ignites it. That way it gets a little bit of a gas on the inside of that chamber too, see? You can time these on the bottom here. These Savinellis, FYI, a little tip, you can time them with these little plates that come on and off of it. You got to stick another C-clip on there or what, or whatever, you can time them that way. Okay, now if you get it too tight, when you put it back together, when if you keep in mind when you put them back together, if you get it too tight and you go like that, you got a flame. Well, you know you got too much pressure on it. You're going to have to thin it out a little bit. Yeah, this is a beautiful lighter here. I got a chrome plated one and another silver plated one too. But these two, I think it'll be the ones that I keep, you know, or all of them possibly. I even got this thing thrown in there. This is to me, this is excellent quality lighter, pipe lighter, for what it's worth. I mean, it's simple. This thing should fire every time. This is simple as it gets here. And I'll tell you what, if I was in a country where you need something simple, or maybe these are simple here, folks, and these are the pipe. This is what they got. I found out. I've seen them as elite, but I've seen they call it one in a box, you know, in a case that's super pipette. So keep that in mind. Calibri super pipette. All right, and also the Zima. This is my own personal Zima. This one here's probably 99.9% being perfect. The only thing is there might be a little bit of a marking on the bottom of that there. This thing here works like a champ. This to me should be, I had a guy that I sold 2 of these to. His buddy liked it. He bought one too, but he's got a tall Savinelli pipe lighter like I just showed you, and he says he loves this Savinelli because it's a Savinelli, right? But he says that he loves this thing here because, you know, the flame's right there, and he says, and he flies around the country and stuff, so he needs a lighter that can hold some butane. Because the Savinelli only holded like a little under 6 grams. This thing here will hold 14, and he got tired of buying a can of butane in order just to leave it where he's at, because you can't take a can of butane on an airplane. Okay, so you can take the lighter. So if he's out 2 or 3 days, you know, he's got plenty of fluid in his lighter to light his cigarettes with. So I understand his point there. Matter of fact, I had to trade him a chrome Savinelli along with another Flint 45 just to get that lighter back that I sold him. But it was worth it to me, you know. One of my, I know I'm trailing off a little bit, but you know, this is, I just repaired this. Look at that beauty. This used to come with the chrome, but I had a gold one in there. This is a beauty, folks. Probably, when it comes to Flint fire pipe lighters too, folks, man, this is it. This had a leaky valve. I fixed it. I was able to take this apart without really ruining it. Matter of fact, well, I got that out. Let me weigh that. Let's see what that thing weighs. Because I filled that up 2 or 3 days ago, and it weighed 82 point. Yeah, it still weighs the same. 82.3. So my repair worked. You know, you got your flame adjustment here on the bottom, and your Flint screw right there. That's how that works. Just, I can turn that with my fingernail too. These flames, it's amazing how these flames, you know, that's pretty high. Most guys probably wouldn't use it over that. That's probably an inch and a quarter flame right there. You can't really tell because I got the camera pointing down and flames going up. But good thing about these is when you're done, bam. This is a beautiful lighter. Brand new in the box when I got it. Brand new in the box and with the directions and everything, you know. Maybe a warranty card, yeah, a warranty card and all that. Probably, you're looking at 50-year-old lighters here, folks. And I'll guarantee you, you know as well as I do, if anybody knows about lighters, they don't make stuff like this no more. They can't afford to. It's like Dunhill. Dunhill made excellent quality lighters back in the day. But the new Dunhill roller gases, nobody really buys them because they're not the same as the older ones. I don't even know if Dunhill still makes lighters to this day right now, but I know they had the old roller gases, then they come out and redesigned it because, you know, they couldn't afford to, you know, to make the older ones because it's just too much money in it. But, you know, Flaminaire lighter, this is what they call Flaminaire F12. F12 means Flaminaire 12, okay. Right here's Savinelli. This is a small version. I took this thing out of the box there and fired it up, you know. Well, there's a nice quick beat there, but this is an excellent quality pipe lighter. This is better. If you get a brand new one of these, which this is basically new, you can, I mean, I got a video out on it, or I got it for sale on eBay, but this is basically brand new. And if somebody says, and you can get these repaired, if somebody, you know, listen folks, if you're a pipe smoker and this is better than a Pipe Master any day. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. If it hurts your feelings, it's too bad. But, you know, because I've had them both apart and I know how they work, and the design on this beats a Pipe Master, period. Because there ain't no plastic in there like a Pipe Master. The whole top end of a Pipe Master. Here, let's say, for instance, this Pipe Master right here, right? Here's the tank. Okay, it's metal. But everything else up here, plastic. Not with a Savinelli. You say, well, why don't they make that? Well, it's it's no brainer why they don't make that now, because it's too much money in it. You know, it's like inflation. You know, if you Google inflation here, like today, I don't know, it's probably even a higher percentage today, but I did it here before inflation crept up on us like it has here in the States, and it, I think, let's see, the money we got today would buy, like, say, 15 bucks, say, for instance. It would buy, I think it's either 45 or 55% of what you can buy with it back in like 1992. And that's not counting this new inflation we got going on here today. So you gotta think about it, 45, 55, percent more, I mean, time and labor and everything, and design. I mean, that's why Dunhill went to, modifying their lighters to make them cheaper. I mean, they just couldn't afford, those 1960 prices. I mean, think about it, people in the 1950s and 60s, they never got paid what people making today. And, it's like a guy making $15 an hour, say, for instance, back in 1992, definitely making a lot more than a guy making $15 an hour today. So, anyway, guys, I think that's probably about pretty much it on, can of compressed air. Keep these around, okay? And keep a lighter around for lighting your lighters. Yeah, I know. I picked these up off of you. I'll tell you what, if I take this apart, this is an IM Corona lighter. But it's got a nice rubber texture, dimpled texture on it. And you know what? The whole inside of this case right here, I don't think the bottom is, but the whole inside here sides, it's got a brass liner in it. This is a freaking excellent lighter. Piezo's top quality. I think that's it. Like I said, I got soldering stations and whatnot. I'm looking in here. I think I got everything that I can think of. You know, keep all your, you know, I got lighter parts. You know, guys, if you're looking for lighter parts, you know, give me a holler. I might have some, you know, whether it's springs or what, you know, just give me a holler, you know, it'll be reasonable. Won't charge an arm and leg for it, but, all right, guys, that's going to be it.